Hey boys, it's HarmNone. Today I'm going to be going over the top 10 most armored vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online for 2024 as of right now. Now quickly before we get into this video, if you don't mind dropping a like, let's try to get this thing to 5,000 likes, that would be sick. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. And let's go ahead and get started with this list. And spoiler alert, it's not actually a top 10. We're starting at number 12. At number 12, we have the Karen Armored Kuruma coming in at $525,000 all the way up to $698,250 if you don't have the trade price, which you unlock by doing the Fleesa job, which is the first original heist in GTA Online. The Armored Kuruma has no armor, unfortunately, despite its name, but if I don't include it, the Kuruma tards will be mad, so here it is. Now, I'm just joking. It can take tons of bullets, and the occupants will barely take any damage. This thing is like 95% bulletproof, and it is honestly one of the best vehicles that you can buy early game if you're just starting in online, or late game and you want to get into start doing contact missions or things like that. It's very good against NPCs. Overall, it's a great vehicle, and for the price, you can't go wrong with owning an armored Kuruma, that's for sure. Now, taking a step up at number 11, we have the Bravado Duke of Death coming in at free. This thing is free, and it can take 2 RPGs. It will die on the second one, so it can actually take one, and it will die on the second. Now, it is a lot slower off the line. It is in the muscle car category. However, it does have a pretty good top speed, and due to the fact that it can actually take one explosive, whether it's an RPG, sticky bomb, or homing missile, it actually has some armor, which makes it quite a bit better than the Armored Kuruma if you're fighting players that have explosives, which most do. Now, it also does have some armor plating, which will make you harder to shoot out of it, so that is good. It's not nearly as bulletproof as the Armored Kuruma, but it's almost kind of close-ish. Sort of, but it can take that one extra explosive, so it is more armored than the Kuruma, placing it ahead of it on this list. With that being said, let's talk about number 10. Now at number 10, we have the Barrage. The Barrage goes for $1,595,000 if you have the trade price. If you don't, it's going to be $2,121,350. So quite a bit more expensive. Now the Barrage can take 5 RPGs. Now it doesn't have a Monty Tech or anything like that, so that is unfortunate. It can seat 4 players though, and it does have a front mounted gun as well as a rear mounted gun that is optional. So it's a pretty cool vehicle. You don't see them much in online, but it is really neat, and I would maybe recommend picking it up if you got a lot of money. However, there are going to be a lot of better vehicles ahead of it on this list that are around the same price and or maybe even a bit cheaper. So keep that in mind. Let's talk about number 9. Now at number 9, we have the TM02 Kinjali coming in at $2,895,000, and that's if you have the trade price, and you do need to own a facility in order to store this thing. And if you don't have the trade price, it's going to run you $3,850,350. So it is a little on the expensive side. However, you do get a lot with it. It is able to take 8 RPGs or 8 homing rockets. Now, it's the exact same as the APC, which is another tank-like vehicle in GTA, except it is aquatic. And they go about the same speed. They're both really slow. But both of those vehicles can take 8 RPGs and 8 homing rockets. I just felt like the Kinjali was a little more realistic to put on this list. I feel like a lot more people like it than the APC. Not saying the APC is not good, but they both share the exact same armor, so I thought I would mention them both when I'm talking about the Kinjali. It's a good vehicle. Obviously, it's a tank. You can upgrade it with the railgun turret so it can shoot extra far and you can charge up shots. It can seat 4 players. 2 of those players get access to side-mounted grenade launchers, and the other player gets access to the top-mounted gun on it, which is pretty good. Overall, Kinjali, good vehicle. For sure, definitely one to look into. Not the most armored though. Let's talk about number 8. Now, number 8, we have the Night Shark. I'm sure everybody knows the Night Shark by now. It goes for $1,245,000, and the Night Shark can take 27 homing missiles and 9 RPGs. So pretty good. It also has front-mounted machine guns. They're pretty trash. They barely do any damage. Now the Night Shark is quite quick though, which does give it a slight advantage. However, it's not exactly the best of the non-Imani tech but armored vehicles in the game. It does have relatively low ground clearance, so off-road it's not as good as you would maybe expect it to be. It is all-wheel drive though, so that is nice. The Night Shark, overall, pretty decent vehicle. It does also have armor plating that you can put on the windows, but it doesn't protect you, and it just stops you from being able to shoot out of the vehicle. So overall, the Night Shark definitely deserves number 8. It's strong, but it does have some weak points for sure. At number 7, we have the Insurgent Pickup Custom, a personal favorite of mine. coming in at $1,997,500, all totaled up. Once you've purchased the Insurgent pickup and then upgraded it into the custom variant, it will cost you that much money. Now this thing can take the exact same as the Nightshark, 27 homing missiles, 9 RPGs. So it's pretty strong overall, but it does have a slight advantage over the Nightshark because it can hold 9 players, and it also has a top mounted MG that somebody can man as well, and you can shoot out from the inside of it unless you have the heavy armor plating equipped on it, which I happen to. Now it can also have a proximity mine dropper, which is cool, so if you're getting pursued, you can drop proxy mines and people will hit them and blow up. So the Insurgent Pickup Custom just has a little more utility than the Nightshark. They're also almost the same speed. The Insurgent's just a little tiny bit slower, so keep that in mind depending on what you're trying to purchase, but overall, the Pickup Custom, in my opinion, is quite a bit better. Now, number 6, we do have something that is better than the Pickup Custom. This is the Half Track, and it goes for $1,695,000, and that is with the trade price. Now, without the trade price, $2,254,350. It's a little more expensive without the trade price. Now, this thing can tank 27 homing missiles, just like the other two, and 9 RPGs, exact same as the Nightshark, as well as the Insurgent Pickup Custom. However, it has a significant advantage over both of them because it does have a glitch with it that hasn't been patched for several years. So if you're worried about buying it and then them patching this, probably not going to happen. It has a fully bulletproof front windshield. You cannot shoot through this, meaning nobody can shoot you through it. So it's pretty crazy. Now, of course, it is extremely slow because it's a half track, so that does completely suck. But it also does have the big gun on the back of it, which you can upgrade to be a quad cannon instead of a dual cannon, and that gives you a lot of firepower. It's got a lot of range as well, so overall very good. You can still get shot through the side windows, but from the front and back it is completely bulletproof. And really the only way to get you if you're in this thing driving is if they shoot you through the passenger windows or they blow up your vehicle. That's the only way to die in the half track, which is pretty nuts if you think about it. It does also have a proximity mine dropper. That is cool too. That's kind of it for the half track. Let's talk about number 5. Now, number 5, purely based on the fact that it can take more RPGs and more homing missiles than most of the other vehicles, we have the Bloons coming in at $1.8 million, up to 2.4 if you don't have the trade price. It's a terrible vehicle and I do not recommend getting it, but based on armor, this is where it actually should go because it can take more RPGs than most of the other vehicles on this list so far. Well, than all of the other vehicles on this list so far. However, it is limited to only 14 homing missiles, so it can take less homing missiles but more RPGs. So depends on what you're doing and who you're fighting. I still wouldn't recommend it. It's also amphibious, so you can take it in the water if you want to. But due to its extremely short wheelbase, the vehicle is nearly undrivable, and it will get knocked around by explosives extremely easily. So the Bloons is not something I recommend. Definitely don't buy one of these if you can avoid it. Now, next up at number 4, we have any electric Amani Tech vehicle. Now you can take your pick out of these. We have the Bravado Buffalo EVX, the Ocelot Virtue, and the Obey Omni EGT. All of these can take 6 RPGs or 6 homing missiles without the armor plating upgrades on them, and with the armor plating upgrades on them, they can all take 12 RPGs and 12 homing missiles. So 12 RPGs, 12 homing missiles, pretty good. But the reason they're ahead of the Bloons on this list is because, of course, all of these are Amani Tech, meaning they can have the missile lock-on jammer. So that is a huge bonus. Now they all also do have the oil slick proximity mine dropper, so you can spin people out if they're chasing you. Very useful. If you're looking for one of these, I would recommend getting the Virtue because it's free. You just have to complete the first and last dose missions from the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC, and you'll get one for free at the end of those missions. So that's the one I would recommend. The other two, you can buy them if you want to. You can also buy the Virtue. I would definitely recommend trying to get it for free though, because I feel like that is the best option for most players. And at number 3, we have the 3rd most armored vehicle in the entire game, and it is, of course, the Terabyte. Now, the Terabyte sells for $1,375,000, and it can take 32 to 34 homing missiles. Very strong vehicle. Insanely strong, in fact. The Terabyte's not super useful unless you own an Oppressor Mark II. You can upgrade it in here. In fact, I do believe that's the only place you can upgrade the Mark II, so that might be something that you guys want to look into eventually. The Mark II is really expensive now though too, so you got to keep your eye out for that. But the Terabyte is the third most armored vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online. And then at number 2, we have the Brigade 6x6, or the Acid Lab, of course. And this thing can take 48 homing missiles, the second most armored vehicle in the entire game. And it does double as one of the best businesses in the entire game as well. And it is purchasable once you've completed the first dose missions from the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. And it's going to cost you $750,000 to buy it if you're interested. Very good vehicle, definitely one of the best. Not the most armored, but the second most armored for sure. Next up, at number 1, still the reigning champ, we got the Mobile Operations Center CAB. Coming in at $1,225,000 to start, and you can upgrade it to nearly $3 million depending on what you put on it. This thing can take 70 homing missiles before blowing up, which is absolutely insane. And all players that are inside of the vehicle or that have entered the vehicle are completely protected from explosives, even the guys that can ride on the back of the truck near the trailer hitch, which is pretty crazy to think about. The MOC cab is definitely one of the best vehicles in GTA Online when it comes to protecting yourself for sure. Being that it can take, 70 rockets before blowing up is absolutely crazy, and it easily makes it the best and most armored vehicle in Grand Theft Auto Online, for sure. So anyway guys, that's it for my list. Those are the top 10 or top 12 most armored vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online in 2024. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you learned something, a like is of course appreciated. If not, dislike. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, take care. Peace.